Now let's look at our second example. In this case, the website allows us to upload a contact. As we click on it, it's going to give us a example file. We can do a view source, or we can download it to see what this looks like. And as you can see, it has multiple email addresses and different names. We're going to copy this into our notepad and we're going to give it a try. We're just going to send this on its own. We want to see how the application works. So in other words, we're using the default XML file provided by application, which is very common in a lot of different websites. They will give you a template to use in order for it to work with their systems. And we're just going to use this template just to see how the website interacts. So we're going to go ahead and save it as contacts.xml. We're going to go back to our documents. We're going to click on contacts, which is the default template provided by the website, and we're going to press go just to see what comes back. As you can see, upload is completed. It looks like that doesn't show the outputs of any other files that we have given it. So it indicates that XML gets parsed in the back end, but we don't get to see its response, which hints at having a blind XXE. Now that we know this is actually vulnerable and it's reaching out to our remote server, and we confirmed it with Burp Collaborator, what we're going to do is we're going to use an external DDT. I'm actually hosting this on my private server right now. And what's happening here is we're going to get the contents of etc password using file. We're going to assign its content to data. And what's going to happen in the second line is we're going to actually exfil this entire thing by passing the contents of etc password in a base64 format to this server. So in other words, is we're reading it, whatever the content of the file is, it's going to become base64 encoded, and it's going to be sent to our remote server to receive it. And the reason why we're doing base64 in this case is because these this file with the etc password is actually multi-line, and we want to receive the whole thing. So when it's base64, we can take it, decode it, and see the entire content versus maybe the first line, or risking the chances of this application breaking the content and never receiving it. So what we're going to do here, we're going to pop back into our contents.xml. We're going to add a few things. The first thing is we're going to switch this out to evo.ddt. I've already done this. So it went from the Burp Collaborator link to my private server, and it's going to reach for evo.ddt. And then down here, we want to do a few other things. So first of all, we want to call the entities that are being used in this XML or this external DDT. So the first thing we want to call is we want to call param1, but we also want to call remote. We're going to remove this and exchange it for something else later on. So we're going to put this right here. We're going to say, hey, call remote, and also param1, remote being this one, and then param1 is the one right here. And of course, we have exfil right here that needs to be used because we want to be able to call the system call. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that right in here by doing an ampersand and doing a semicolon. So I think this should work this time. I'm going to save it, go to our application, put contacts, and run our HTTP server to make sure we receive the contents of our file. So as you can see, the server reached out to our box. It grabbed evo.ddt, took the contents of evo.ddt, parsed it, and gave us a base64, which I'm hoping is the content of etc password. So let's go ahead, paste it into Burp Suite, and we're going to decode this as base64. And sure enough, we have the contents of our target file that we're fetching for.